Welcome to the All Outdoors Photography Podcast. This podcast is about all things outdoor photography, including landscapes, wildlife, macro, and more. The show features two talented photographers, Henry Doyle and Ryan Taylor, who bring their different experiences in photography to the podcast. The show is released weekly every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. In today's episode, Henry and Ryan meet in person for the first time ever. They spend a whole day together photographing birds and landscapes at various parks and trails, and to end the day, they record a short video episode that recount the highlights from their time together.
Welcome back to episode 55 of the All Outdoors Photography Podcast. And today we're out in the field for the first time. Yeah, first in the field episode recording, so it's something different, I guess. Yeah. Fun fact, we never actually met before. This is the first time. First day at least, yeah. So we've been out shooting all day, and it's been a lot of fun. So what is it? We started at 8 a.m. and now it's like 4 p.m. So yeah, basically good 8 hours of shooting here. So yeah, but yeah. So I guess we're just gonna talk about basically about our day. So you want to just go step by step here? Sure, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So Henry and I met at a place called Old Reid Park in Springfield, Ohio. He's up here in Ohio for a time right now, and. So yeah, we met at 8 a.m. there. It was really like foggy, kind of misty conditions. There's like some light rain, drizzle, misty whatever weather, and precipitation. And yeah, so we're just out photographing mainly waterfowl to start with. Something a little bit different. And we're mainly doing like hooded merganser. Yeah, gadwall, hooded merganser, ton of Canada geese, of course. Yeah. Different kinds of mallards, typical mallards, but there's also some domestic kind of like types and hybrids. And mainly those to start with. Just trying to get close to them as much as we can, because it's like a fishing lake pond. There's all these different like islands and stuff you can go on to break away and get closer to the water, the deeper ends of the water, and just trying to get real close to those ducks and everything, which is really tricky as you can imagine. The lake Old Reid Lake was pretty good. It was pretty far away. We got as close as possible, obviously, but we did some small and frame stuff with like tree reflections. I think it worked pretty well, and that was just kind of getting us into it. The day kind of increased from there, but it was good. I hadn't seen a hooded merganser in probably about a month, so it was good to see those again. Gadwell's cool. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then there's also, it's kind of like a part of Old Reid, but it has a separate name to it. It's called Kirby Preserve, and it's basically a meadow kind of prairie land. So we did a little hike through that, or around it really, just seeing mainly song sparrows and hearing them. I tried some pitching techniques on them, and nothing really came about too much. At least that was cooperative to our cameras, that is. But beyond that, we started going around the Buck Creek, around it. There's a little meandering trail. It's almost like riparian kind of habitats, and that's where we really got some luck with belted kingfisher, I remember. Yeah, so I will say earlier we actually, if you remember, we had some luck with a kingfisher, kind of like small in frame, over the lake at Old Reid Park. But yeah, when we went on that Buck Creek trail, a kingfisher flew in right by us. Like, it was just a pretty small creek, and he was just right across that creek. I think he was in 3 different perches, if I remember correctly. It was mainly 3, Yeah, and I think the second one was the best. He was over some red berries and kind of a curved tree. And we were in different spots, too, so we got slightly different angles. I thought that was an otter, actually. That's just wood. I wish we could show you guys. But, that's just part of the shooting out here. Where's my phone at? That looks so much like an otter. Imagine that was. I know, right? We worked with that kingfisher for about 30 minutes. I was really hoping to get a flight shot, but he just stayed there. He wouldn't move. Even when I stood up, he stayed there. He's probably still there today, honestly. But honestly. He was very cooperative. No noises, which is weird for a kingfisher. And we got some great shots, honestly, thinking back to it. It was just pretty good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really taught me, once again, or reminded me, that is, about, like, birds in particular are creatures of habit. Like, so this kingfisher, actually the multiple kingfishers we saw, they all perch on the same spots, I've noticed. They'll go to the same, telephone pole or, same tree branch against the creek. Like, it was really neat to see that kind of, like, behavior, I guess. And it made photographing them a lot easier, I think, too. Yeah. And along the way there, too, kind of like throughout that Old Reid Park, Buck Creek area, we got a bunch of kind of like little tree birds. We saw some kinglets. What else? We saw various woodpeckers, downies, red-bellied. I heard some chickadees. I heard one Carolina
I think I got
wren.
the chickadee shot.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yellow-rumped warbler, which, it sticks around for a long time. It's a very hardy warbler species here in Ohio, at least. So, got a couple of those, I think, on the same tree and everything.
And on the way out, too, after kind of the Kingfisher Trail, we played with some gulls a little bit, tested some bird and flight stuff. I got a new camera recently, so I was kind of testing the autofocus on that. And the Kingfisher, I think, showed up again, too, on a tree.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he just kept showing up. I think this was a different one. I think we saw 2 different Kingfishers, but he came back, so.
It's hard to keep track, but I think it was about that many or something like that, so. It was great. It was great at Old Reid. I did an eBird checklist for both of us, and I think we clocked in about 17 species, which, I mean, for winter, it's pretty good, I would say. A couple of surprises there. Stuff that, like kinglets, the warbler in particular, was pretty cool to see, close up even.
Did you get any shots of the warbler?
Not anything really salvageable. It's just kind of like quick, overexposed sky, just like a dog shot, basically, which is all I was going for, just trying to simply identify it, really. But, I mean, nothing beyond that.
Yeah. I did not, but I got a good shot of a kinglet, I think, kind of silhouetted with some leaves that I really like. So once I edit that, we'll see, but I think that's pretty good. So
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything else to add to Old Reid about that?
I think it's just a really cool location. We were talking, we definitely need to go back in spring or summer. Ryan's been there before, and it's some beautiful flowers and stuff. So
yeah. I need to go there more. That is, but that was your first visit, I believe, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So,
but it wasn't too far from me, so that was nice. It's very convenient. So, it's a great location.
Yeah, definitely. So after that, we spent probably a good solid couple hours there, maybe.
Maybe 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, something like that. At least just doing wildlife exclusively, birds. Then we moved across the street quite literally to Buck Creek State Park, also in Springfield, of course. And so at that point, we focused essentially on the lake. But as we both got out of our cars next to the lake, we noticed there's a particular peculiar-looking bird. And we both really just focused in on it with binoculars and everything. At this point, I had my spotting scope with me on a tripod, and it was actually a northern mockingbird, which was cool.
Yeah. So he was we were right by the lake, so there was some brush along the lake, and he was first there. So we were, like you said, we were confused at first, and then we got many different shots. Like we started very far away, we started moving in. I think we got 5 different areas, kind of. Captured. Our favorite, I think both of our favorite parts was when he got up higher with the sky behind him. We got some high key shots. Yeah. Kind of put that shutter up or put that ISO up. Got some cool branches there too. So.
Yeah, definitely. That's a bird that's it's not super rare, but in winter I do see them quite a bit here in Ohio. So I was like, this is a cool one to see.
It's fun.
Because I just thought it was a typical, I don't know, a robin or something different, or something more common, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool bird nonetheless. Very neat.
It's definitely postable for me, the shot I got. So.
That too. Yeah, I think I got a few close-ups because it's cool to see the improvement as you go along. Your earliest shots of a bird, they're very far away. I'm saying a specific session like this, and then the ones that we took at the very end before it surely flew away.
We were super close.
Yeah, it was really close up at least, which is neat.
Pretty crazy. It was fun to photograph it. I know it's pretty common, but in Louisville, I've never seen a mockingbird.
Oh, really?
The only other time I've seen one is all the way in San Francisco, California. So same species actually, but it's crazy to see it again. So we did not get to see it mocking any other birds, but
no mimicry or anything.
No sounds,
because they're actually some very vocal birds. When they really get to it and stuff. And any sound they'll hear, they'll try to mimic it, which is pretty neat. But I mean. And then we, what do we do after that? Well, we're not there yet. So we started walking along the beach. No, before that. Okay, so shout out to Dave and Terry Norris. They're locals here in Clark County.
They're amazing. Check out their page.
Yeah, they do great work. They post on Facebook and Instagram. Just a couple that they both photograph wildlife mainly, and some landscapes and stuff in between. But they came out of their cars, and I quite frankly didn't recognize them. Don't tell them, but but they got out and were asking what we were shooting, and we said a mockingbird, and they're like, "Well, we were actually here to look at some snowy owl that was reported earlier." And it was funny because you and I were we were going to go in this other section of the trail, and I was like, "Well, Henry, we got to slot this in our schedule. All right, let's go."
I mean,
I was just I was like, nothing else mattered.
I was let's get some sparrows in this field in the snowy owl. we're
I was just like, I don't know if we can fit that in. And just threw that way. We threw away our plans. Yep. Whatever it was, didn't matter.
I mean, did you expect to see anything? I'm not saying we did see anything, but did you expect to see anything?
Like a snowy owl?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I half did,
wishful thinking. I mean, I was hoping, of course, or I hoped for it, but it was just kind of like, no, why would it be of this place, this close to where I live?
Yeah, and I mean, the Mockingbird. I was happy with that. That was kind of like the highlight of my day so far, getting these frame fill-in shots of a Mockingbird.
You spoiled it. We saw it.
Yeah. We saw the snowy owl. But let's tell the story first, right?
So we're going to Reid and Dave. We're walking along, just chit-chatting basically, and they're telling us about where they might see it and everything and all that. And so we walked the length of the beach, which is pretty far, long-standing beach or whatever, up to some riprap basically, that's just rock on against the bridge that basically crosses where the lake is.
We were up high at this point, though, if you remember.
Yeah, we're on. We're on a grassy hill, but we're up top on the beach, looking over it, basically.
And I thought it was great. We were just kind of exchanging stories because I don't get to be with other photographers often, so it was great to kind of talk about stories.
It's great to get you in front of some more, especially some that are really talented like they are and stuff. So that was cool. So we're just walking the length of it. We're all just looking through our binoculars and my spying scope and all that stuff, and just chit-chatting about gear and about the owl itself.
Yeah, so
else.
It was kind of hard because these rocks, some of them were white, so we literally thought every 10 seconds, oh, it's a snowy owl, it's a snowy owl. And I remember there's this one plastic bag by the highway, and we were dead set. Yeah. This is a snowy owl. It wasn't. It was just a plastic bag.
I still think it was. That was probably the same one. But
not like they know at this point. So
yeah, they know. But so we're walking the length of it, and then we started noticing some people across the entire lake there, just checking out, and they had big telephoto lenses and everything too.
At the visitor center.
Yeah, on the opposite end of the lake. So.
I think that's where the eBird alert was. So the guys that came to us originally, they had seen it there that original day, or that same day, and got in some shots at that visitor center. So I think they eBirded it, and that obviously brought a lot of people over there. Right. But it was just us four on our side, so it was pretty crazy to zoom across. And I was like, I'll be so mad if they get a snowy owl and we don't. And then we end up getting it. So. Right. And we were up there for a while, maybe 30 minutes of scoping and kind of zooming in, trying to find things. And all we saw was a guy in a blind hunting ducks unsuccessfully from that point.
He had I think it was a floating, it was a boat or something, but it looked like a floating blind from where it was a big bulbous looking thing floating out of the water next to a peninsula. And there's about 30-something decoys he had stringed about, right in front of it. And we could clearly hear the duck calls, just going off from it. But I mean, and then basically when all four of us just about gave up, we started walking on our way back. Terry and Dave took the high ground, and I was like, hey, Henry, you want to take the beach? And so we stayed down at that lower level. And we're walking along, and there's a boat sign, because there's several signs dotting this beach. And there's the farthest one at the end before we go off to the parking lot up the hill again. There's this white thing.
So I originally, I said, I bet that's a snowy owl. And I kind of said it half jokingly because it was another white thing. I thought it was a plastic bag. And Ryan said, no way. And at first you didn't even look through your spotting scope. And you're like, oh, maybe I'll check. Looks through the spotting scope.
It
takes a second. It wasn't instant, you didn't instantly recognize it.
Yeah.
And
it was funny though. It was hilarious. Yeah, I was just like, no, you're full of it. And then I'm looking through and I'm like, oh crap. I was like, this is it. Yeah, I was just like,
oh my god, the moment, just kind of reliving it.
It's a funny story, I think, when you just all but given up and you're walking back. And that's why they say never pack your camera before you leave the location.
And I'm glad we went back a different way, because we went up high. And if we hadn't come back on the beach, we may have still seen it, but there's a chance, you miss it. So
yeah, true.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be really looking for it because, on the beach level, the beach side of it, we were walking straight towards it. It was basically eye level with us. So I mean, we'd be walking past it if we kept going straight, and we're just not totally oblivious to it. Let's say, we would not see it. But so I mean, we did all that, and and I flagged down Terry and Dave because they're up top and they're looking at us. About the same distance we were up the hill, and I'm just I'm coming down here. I'm pointing the direction, trying to mouth my words, I guess.
And we were lucky. We both did have our full gear. You had your long lens, I had my long lens, I had my tripod.
I had a tripod with me. Yeah, I was like, thank you. I had some stability. It was I'd be so bummed I had to run back to the car. Holding that handheld that still and waiting for it to turn its head to like the right angle and stuff would just it would take longer, of course, but you know
So we started. So we were pretty much parallel with him on the beach on the same level. I'm gonna be honest; those first shots weren't great, which is fine. You know,
no, there's just documentation.
Yeah, just kind of seeing the owl, and I've been fine. I don't know if you would have been, but I would have been fine with just that shot, honestly.
Just seeing it at all, I was happy with. Yeah. That was actually one of my goals for this winter is like to see a snowy owl at all. So because this is a life for both of us.
Yeah.
And like so that alone, like, I agree. Like that alone was enough. The shots looking back are terrible compared to like what we got later on as we kind of kept hunkering down and focusing on, I guess, more on the bird. But.
I mean, it was pretty much a white couple of pixels at that point. Like
with some like chromatic aberration. I think it was like overexposed in most of them, and it was just on this thin little signpost, and like
you could crop it, but it wouldn't even look that good probably.
Yeah, so. Mine were blurry out of focus.
I did do some video there though. I think that was kind of a bit better medium for that, but and then we did this ethically. You know, Terry is a professional, and she knows how to approach owls safely, and we asked her what the safe distance was, so she kind of showed us where we could go safely. So we moved up a bit. That still wasn't too close, but I think that kind of puddle spot, that got a lot better, right? Like kind of closer up there.
Yeah, so we basically went up the hill. After we shot them down at the eye level at the beach or whatever, we met them both uphill and walked along basically to this like restroom shelter and basically used that as cover, just staying on the concrete base of it. And that's where we got our best shots because we're looking top down as it overlooked the lake water. We got some of the beach and then also some of the green grass. So there's like 3 different solid color and elements going on there, and a lot of both of our images. But that top down view really, really helped, I think. And we're also facing the sign as well. So you actually got to see the sign with it. So that was perched on.
That's actually we shot up, if I'm remembering correctly. Sorry. We shot kind of sideways first. We weren't straight on at first.
Yeah, we were kind of like shooting as we went, walking closer to it, I think.
And I was trying the eye level there. It didn't quite work out, but then we saw them at this porta potty or outhouse thing.
Restaurants, basically.
And we went there, and that was the magic, right? So you went right, I went left, and I think both were pretty much equal.
Yeah, we were on separate sides or walls of like the restroom thing. It was hilarious. And we just took different sides and just took a bunch of photos of it basically, and we both took footage of it, just from our tripods. And
so you want to talk about your approach you took there, and then I'll kind of talk about my unique thing I did.
Yours is more unique. I don't know. I just took some photos of it. I don't know what else to say. I don't remember the settings off the top of my head. As we're recording this, I haven't even edited them. They look great though, so I'm really looking forward to it. But just basically getting eye level. I incorporate some foreground blur into it with like the green grass, so it's just blurring this nice like thin slit against the bottom part of the frame there. But most of them are, it's just tack sharp, just simple focusing on it. Lots of horizontals with rule of thirds, so I'll center on like the right or left of it, and just as it's perched on the sign. Not to like go faster in the process here, but it did fall down, I guess, to the beach, like just kind of swoop down. I almost thought it was just going to fly away. I wasn't sure, but it definitely just fell off the sign on its own free will and just get down the ground level, basically.
Yep.
And those shots were the best, probably just because it's more natural approach, I guess, at that.
Yeah, there was a little bit of asphalt, but if you put it at the right angle, you really didn't see much of it. So.
Right, yeah. I didn't quite mind it, honestly, either way, but but I just took different shots from that, just, on my tripod, getting some video on there. About half my height, we'll say, and then I started doing some like laying flat on the ground and just getting some much more eye level perspectives, I guess. But it just basically had its head on a swivel and just turning and moving around. It didn't seem undeterred by anyone's presence, at least actively, I'll say, because it was getting surrounded by quite a few of us. Not just the 4 of us, as more people showed up from the other side of the lake.
It was funny. You could see the visitor center empty out as they all came over.
Yeah, and all these cars coming over, and they not fill up the parking lot, but like there's definitely like at least 10 plus more cars.
It's
by the time we left, I'll say.
It's crazy how social media has changed that, because snowy owls used to be probably much more elusive before things like eBird and Instagram. So
yeah, that's very true. And I'm fortunate that we caught on to this one early on, because like if it was like one that drew crowds already, I'd be so bummed. I'd be excited to see one finally if that was the case, but like I'd be bummed just seeing how might be stressed out or just I don't know, disappointed a little bit that people just draw the crowds to it.
Yeah.
Even though we might be contributing to it if we were there.
And I think even with the crowds, it wasn't too disturbed. That may have been the original reason that it flew to the ground, I'm not sure. But it really wasn't that many people. I think it was maybe 3 birders and like 4 photographers besides us.
Right.
So it wasn't too bad. Yeah. And it was funny. So in the photography, wildlife specifically community, there's kind of a movement against location sharing.
Yeah.
And he self-reported himself. He sat on a sign that said Buck Creek State Park. So I probably not going to post those. I haven't decided, but
wait a few months. I think is what they say for raptors, especially owls in particular. Wait a few months until like time's passed.
Yeah. So
that's just what I've heard.
Those asphalt ones I probably will post pretty soon, but those sign ones I'll wait. I think. Yeah. But it was funny, just kind of. Usually we're the ones doing it, and he did it to himself. So
literally on this sign, in the first line, you read Buck Creek State Park, and it has like all this like about diving and stuff because it's the beach.
I don't know if you read down on the sign too, but somebody spray painted a bunch of like dirty words on there and stuff, and so
I know me and Terry joked about like using a smudge tool on like Photoshop and like smudging out Buck Creek State Park or something, blurring it out or cloning it out,
making it a white log or something,
or
exactly, log or maybe
something like that, filling it in. But that was just, I don't know what else to say. It was just a cool moment. For anyone that hasn't seen a snowy owl and would like to, I would say go drive as far as you can. Try and be determined to see it. It's a beautiful bird nonetheless, and it was really cool to see it finally.
Yeah,
I'm really glad. I think that's life for 175 for me.
Wow.
So, which is cool. And it's a great way to end 2021, which is awesome. So
I think it's 91 for me. So.
Definitely the best life bird to end a year on, I would say. So pretty cool, and plus one this close to where I live too, locally.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. And they don't get them really as much in Kentucky, you said, right?
Oh yeah, I've never seen a report for one in my area at least.
Right.
So I've got like rare bird alert on too. So
okay.
Yeah.
But they're a big celebrity up here for a good reason, I'd say.
Michigan a lot of snowy owls, but not in Ohio. Yeah,
definitely. I think this year might be more of like a super eruption or whatever you want to call it. So like they might be traveling a little bit more down south because some years they don't really come around this part of Ohio at all. Like the southern end, I'll say. Like, it's hard pressed. But this year, I've been hearing quite a lot of reports and seeing photos of them popping up. Like even at down far south of Cincinnati, I would say.
Didn't Terry say that she hadn't seen one since 2017?
She said that. Well, no, she just saw this one this morning.
Well, besides that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think 2017 was the last time. Maybe.
Last one last one she saw at Buck Creek.
This year?
No, just in general.
Oh.
Last time she saw a snowy owl at Buck Creek was 2017.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, she said she saw one towards Columbus just like a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah,
She saw it for 10 minutes.
I may not have been there during that part. I may have been.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's kind of, it's a rare bird. Even somebody who's out every day, they don't see it often. So, it's important when people are coming from long ways to shoot the snowy owl. So.
Yeah, definitely well sought after. Always be ethical, of course. It's what we both always recommend.
Yep.
We kept our distance.
And you can work with that distance. So what I did was I got down, army crawled. I stayed a safe distance, and I got foreground. So I would put my camera into the grass and get that nice green texture. I also incorporated a tree kind of framing the owl. I really liked that shot, and that's when it was on the asphalt. So there was no sign. I used that foreground. At one point, I even crawled through a puddle to get the right framing, and that's actually my favorite shot. So it worked out. It was freezing cold. I stayed in the puddle. I got the shot. So you got to get that foreground, army crawl. I'm sure you got some foreground too, right?
I incorporate a little bit of blur into there, or foreground just in general,
Yeah.
But it was just funny because Dave told me that, and like you came over and you're just like walking like this, and I could just see your whole like torso just drenched.
I was frozen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just like, this is funny.
But worth it.
Whatever it takes, and I think it worked out for what we're doing here.
And just be ethical. I think there weren't really any unethical photographers there that day, so it's good to see.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that in the next couple days, that place is going to be just drawing a lot more people, and on a regular basis too. And that's only if the owl's in that same spot or if it's somewhere else in the state park. It might have moved well beyond Buck Creek. I don't know. So, but I'm just fortunate we got to see this little moment in time here.
And probably by the time this goes up too, he'll be gone. So if anybody's listening, don't try to chase after him unless you see other reports, because he probably won't be there. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And please be ethical, of course.
Yeah.
So after that, that was our big thing of the day, I would say. I mean, we were both just astounded, right?
Yeah,
because it's both lifers.
We both didn't expect that from going there and just photographing a mockingbird, which is a cool bird, of course. Yeah. But then leaving the place with that on top of it, and like frame fillers, really. We can both crop to make it that way. Mm-hmm. But even just including the environment and landscape around it, perfect light day for it, in my opinion. Like, it just couldn't have been better. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We just peered the moment,
it was amazing.
And it was a big surprise. Neither of us were really expecting that too.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it was really, really cool.
And then after that we headed to these woods here. We did a video for my channel, video for Ryan's channel. Took some landscapes, macro. Nothing amazing, but pretty cool shots.
We're just having fun. Just learning how we both shoot together, and
yep.
just I don't know, just having more fun, I guess.
Yep.
Doing what we both love to talk about and do. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
it's been a lot of fun.
Did some social media stuff as well. Got to let the fans know that we're shooting together.
Of course, yeah.
And now we're filming this here in the woods still. Nice outdoor podcast. I've seen some birds, actually. I saw a white-crowned sparrow. I don't know if you saw that, but
just now?
A little bit earlier. I didn't want to pause, but...
See how Laura got? I was like, just now? I was like, just grab the camera and just like go with it,
actually, we saw a dead deer carcass. That was new.
That was different. We both didn't stop take photos, really. I mean, I took one on my phone, I guess, but...
Yeah, we think it's a coyote because nobody's hunting this land at the moment, so pretty much the only option.
But it was, like, ripped clean. You could see all the ribs and the bone of it, but, like, it was, like, hollowed out except for the head, and it looked fresh. And it was, like, what, 6-point buck?
Its eyes were still open, too, I think.
Yeah, at least it had, the eyelids and everything. It looked fresh. Like, I don't know.
You could smell it, too. It was...
Yeah, it was kind of rancid a little bit. Yeah, so.
But not like rancid to where it, had been out there for a while. Yeah, it's a fresh kill.
Fresh kill. Yep. Yep. And but it looked spread out. There's some hairs like a foot or two away from it. Mm-hmm. So it looked like something pulled it apart, like animals, I guess, like maybe a coyote. I don't know.
Or a bobcat or something like that.
Bobcat.
Bear even.
Freaking elk out here in Ohio.
I wish. Yeah.
Bison here in the woods.
Polar bear.
Polar bear. You, me.
An eagle. Bald eagle.
Elk meat. Yeah, no. Bald eagle.
Yeah.
That
was cool.
A snowy owl did it.
Had you ever seen that? Like a dead deer like that?
Yeah, I've seen animal bones out in the woods and stuff, and a few skulls, like little raccoons or squirrel skulls. But yeah, that was a pretty good, big carcass. Like, I don't think I've really seen something quite that big. And that fresh, too, So, no, I don't think so. Maybe a few skeletons maybe here and there, but how about you?
I've seen some bones. I've seen like a full rib cage, but never the skin on still. So it was awesome. Cool thing to see.
On the topic of ethics, do you think it's okay to take this home and stuff?
If it's already dead?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying kill something and just take its like skull or skeleton. I'm saying like
I would never personally do it, but I think it's fine, honestly.
Okay.
I don't see really the environmental impact on taking it necessarily.
Okay, I'll just do both. Okay.
So what's your individual goal for 2022?
Photography? Good question. That is, I want to do more videos, try and keep them consistent as much as I can. I want to do them higher quality, though, so I'm thinking lots more, like, voiceovers and stuff to make it a little more cinematic, maybe. But yeah, more on location, more just anything off the wall, weird stuff. Like if I just want to try out filmmaking technique or something, just be open to it, I guess. But yeah, just more videos and stuff. Other than that, probably more longer extended trips, like solo camping, whether it's my car or tent, hammock maybe even, and get out early sunrise and do photography, stuff like that. So I want to do more camping in general.
Cool.
And then I don't know, just more photography, I think. Which is always the goal, of course. And I'm hoping by the end of the year to probably start doing this part-time. Actually pursuing it part-time, kind of distancing myself from maybe the day job and really trying to make this a thing, so.
So would you step back on your day job to part-time?
Probably, like a 30 or 20 hour a week, I'm thinking, but that's probably going to be another year from now, but I'm thinking by the end of maybe next year, we'll see.
Awesome.
Because things are, with both the podcast in general, but also just my own stuff, I feel like things are really ramping up and growing, just just everything, I guess. My sales, just whatever, yada yada. So yeah, I think that's basically my goals. Yeah, just basically that. So
cool.
I'm looking forward to it at least.
Awesome.
But yeah, how about you?
Well, I'm just gonna first of all try to learn my new camera. There's a lot of settings to
that one.
My new camera.
That one right there.
Hi. I'm gonna try to learn.
You gotta talk to that one when you say it.
I'm gonna try to learn you camera. There's a lot of settings to it. I messed up multiple times today because I have no idea what buttons do. But it's the R5, so I'll be working with that. Kind of want to get that learned by February, kind of fully. I've got some trips. I'm going to Alaska. Very excited for that.
Cool.
Probably do Michigan again. Also in spring in Louisville and maybe up here in Ohio, I really want to hit the warbler season hard. I'm already doing habitat research, trying to figure out some species and really get some great, sharp, good shots. So I'll be definitely. That's pretty much all I'm going to focus on in the spring, I think. And I'm going to continue. I'm going to probably vlog that, do maybe a YouTube series or something. So I'm going to really try to do the weekly YouTube videos again. Filmed one earlier today, filmed one yesterday. So expect those, and so that's pretty much my personal goals.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Cool. Then the podcast, what would you say? We've got a lot going on, I think.
Yeah, so first of all, both of the lenses we're filming on are Laowa lenses. Ryan's got a wide angle on his, and then a macro 100mm on the R5 there. And we were sent those by Laowa, and in a couple months, or maybe a month or so, we're going to have the Laowa guy on, and we're going to talk about the lenses. Steven, we're going to have him on and talk about the lenses.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
And as we announced at the end of this year, we're working more with Hunt's photo and video, and more directly Gary. He's been helping us. He's been working with Henry a while, more recently me, but he's collectively doing for both of us for the show as a whole, and getting us more guests as we've talked about, and just we're basically going to be growing the show in a lot more ways, reaching a wider audience, more guests,
working with brands.
Working with brands, getting more gear, the tryouts, and I'm looking forward to it. Just meeting more people, I think, more networking, and just more opportunities, really.
And experiences like today where you met, you already kind of knew them, but you kind of grew that bond, and we might have them on the podcast, something like that, and kind of expanding the networking. So
yeah, definitely. So
so just a couple plugs at the end here. We still have our Patreon. You get access to a Discord server, all kinds of benefits. We continue to run that if we get patrons, so kind of go into that. We got our clips still going on, 3 clips a week. So if you can't catch the entire podcast, watch a couple clips. I try to find kind of the best moments there. Check those out. And anything else with that?
No, I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah,
it'll
be good.
I think we're going to hit the ball rolling. It's going to be great.
I think this is a great episode to start out with, kind of this in person in the field. I'm sure we'll do it again. Who knows when, but at some point. Right. Yeah.
Might even do some meetups.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Fan meetups.
Maybe a local meetup. I don't know. I know a lot of people around here, so.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Woo! That was good.